What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Sunday, May 25th, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 22:50 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Russia and Ukraine. So last night, Russia launched a massive missile and drone attack on Ukraine. And right now, Ukraine is under another massive missile and drone attack. But we're hearing unconfirmed reports that Russian President Vladimir Putin narrowly survived an assassination attempt while visiting the Kursk region today. Apparently, Ukrainian drones targeted his helicopter but were shot down. So maybe that's why we saw like over a dozen Russian doomsday planes and VIP planes flee from Moscow last night, right around the time of the massive missile attack last night. Maybe it's related to that, but major breaking news: Russian President Vladimir Putin narrowly survived an assassination attempt while visiting the Kursk region this weekend. Ukrainian drones targeted his helicopter but were shot down. And what you're looking at here is a live air raid alert map for Ukraine. You can basically see the entire country is under an air raid alert with the exception of Lviv, Ternopil, and the Ukrainian Carpathians. But just a few minutes ago, those were also under air raid alerts. We're hearing that as many as over a dozen Russian bombers are airborne right now. So it looks like another massive missile attack tonight on Ukraine. And last night, apparently 13 people were killed and over 350 injured in this massive attack last night on Ukraine. There were violent explosions recorded in Kyiv, Chernihiv, Ternopil, Sumy, Zhytomyr, Dnipro, Kharkiv, Konotop, Chuguyev, Shastka, and most regions of Ukraine with the exception of the Ukrainian Carpathians. And apparently the strikes targeted military and industrial infrastructure, but there were also some drone attacks on downtown Kyiv. It appears that Russia also was targeting some apartment buildings to terrorize Ukrainian civilians. And the Ukrainians said that last night Russia launched nearly 300 drones, 69 missiles, including 55 caliber missiles, 1 X-22 missile, 4 X-59 missiles, and 9 Iskander ballistic missiles. And apparently Ukraine responded by launching 205 drones towards Russia, targeting Orlov, Tula, Kaluga, and Moscow. And Trump is furious with Putin. I want to play for you what Trump said earlier this evening at 18:08 Eastern Time when he landed in Morristown, New Jersey. So he was asked by a reporter what was the deal with Ukraine and Russia. The reporter wanted an update, so I'm going to play for you what Trump said, but he also followed up with a post on Truth Social that he's furious with Putin. But let me just play this for you. This is probably the strongest I've ever heard Trump criticize Putin, so let's listen to this.
President, can you provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine as well?
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Wow, strong words there. Let me play for you the first few things he says in response.
President, can you provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine as well?
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all.
Wow, strong words there from Trump on Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure Trump is not happy that his Memorial Day weekend got interrupted by these massive attacks on Ukraine. And the U.S. and the Trump administration have been bending over backwards to kiss Putin's rear end to try to get a peace deal. And I think maybe Trump has finally had enough, but we'll see what's going to happen here. This could potentially mean that Trump may start arming Ukraine to the teeth, and the war could escalate to another level. We know that Russia is preparing for a massive summer offensive. They're massing a large number of troops on the border of the Kharkiv and Sumy regions in Ukraine. We're hearing tens of thousands of Russian troops are on the border there, and this could be like the perfect storm, because if Trump finally gets so pissed off with Putin and loses his patience, which he doesn't have a lot of patience to begin with. Okay, Trump's not a very patient person, I would say. Then he's going to just arm Ukraine to the teeth just to show Putin that he's number one and that he's the top dog. Okay, and so this could really spiral out of control. But I want to read to you what Trump posted on Truth Social. He said, "I've always had a very good relationship with Vladimir Putin of Russia, but something has happened to him. He has gone absolutely crazy," and he wrote that in caps lock with an exclamation mark. "He is needlessly killing a lot of people, and I'm not just talking about soldiers. Missiles and drones are being shot into cities in Ukraine for no reason whatsoever. I've always said that he wants all of Ukraine, not just a piece of it, and maybe that's proving to be right. But if he does, it will lead to the downfall of Russia. Likewise, President Zelensky is doing his country no favors by talking the way he does. Everything out of his mouth causes problems. I don't like it, and it better stop. This is a war that would never have started if I were president. This is Zelensky's, Putin's, and Biden's war, not Trump's. I am only helping to put out the big and ugly fires that have been started through gross incompetence and hatred." Wow, so strong criticism of Putin here. This is the strongest I've ever seen of Trump criticizing Putin. Okay, so this could potentially mean a shift in Trump's approach to Russia now. We'll have to wait and see. And we're hearing also that Ukrainian drones struck the Migalovo air base in the Tver region of Russia. And what's interesting is right around the time when the Ukrainian drones hit that airbase, Russian Tu-160 nuclear bombers were flying in the area. So potentially the Ukrainians were targeting those Tu-160 supersonic nuclear bombers. Now, those bombers are part of Russia's nuclear triad. So that would be like Mexico launching drones at Whiteman Air Force Base and targeting our B-2s. Okay, that could be grounds for Russia to retaliate with nuclear weapons. And I do believe we're going to see mushroom clouds over Ukraine in the coming months or in the coming years, in the very near future. I think it's going to happen. I don't think Putin is going to ever give up on Ukraine, even if he has to use nukes to win or somehow, break the back of NATO or break the back of the Ukrainian people. He will do it. Okay, he's not going to stop. So this is a very dangerous time right now, guys. Okay, the honeymoon period between Trump and Putin is over. Okay, Trump is already pushing into 6 months of his presidency, so it's safe to say that the honeymoon period is wearing off. Okay, it's like when people first get married and they don't really have a good relationship. The first 6 months is great, and then after that, all the negatives start to come out, and then a few months after that, there's a divorce, okay, after 9 months after marriage, right? So that's what's happening here, I believe. We'll see what happens, though. And for some reason, we're seeing massive brownouts in New Orleans. it looks like the energy operator in the New Orleans region is mandatorily scheduling power outages, and this could be in preparation for hurricane season or possible shortages of energy. This is very concerning. I'm going to monitor this and update you guys because summer is approaching and it gets really hot and humid down in New Orleans. So if there's brownouts now in May, it's going to be crazy in July and August. And we're hearing that airports in Moscow have been shut down all day today due to the Ukrainian drone threats. And in France, 160,000 people are without power. And the French government is saying that it was caused by quote-unquote malicious acts. Very interesting. And the Houthis have issued an evacuation warning for Israel's Ben Gurion airport. So it looks like the Houthis are going to start targeting the Ben Gurion airport again in the near future. And last night there was another missile attack on Israel launched by the Houthis. And Politico is reporting that Trump and Netanyahu's relationship has been strained in recent weeks over disagreements on the Middle East crisis. According to 5 current and former U.S. officials, while not a full rupture, frustration is growing in the Trump administration over Israel's approach to Washington. Very interesting. And senior officials from Britain, Germany, and France have warned the Trump administration that Iran is stalling in negotiations for a new deal to undermine the imposition of sanctions on them if there is no agreement. So Iran is stalling, okay, with these negotiations. And speaking of negotiations, the Iranian Foreign Ministry said that the date for the next round of talks with the U.S. has not been determined. So we're already up to 6 rounds of talks, okay, and no progress. So yeah, the Iranians are definitely stalling. And last night we had a very concerning flight here in Eastern Europe. So what you're looking at is a Russian Air Force cargo plane that flew from the Moscow region to Gomel in Belarus. Many of you guys who follow the Ukraine war may remember Gomel. Okay, this is like one of the main areas that Russia launched their invasion from in 2022 when the war started. They massed a large number of troops in the Gomel region, and then they invaded into Ukraine, and they went south into Chernobyl. They took the Chernobyl plant, and then they went all the way to Kyiv, and they tried to take the capital. Okay, so now we're seeing a Russian Air Force cargo plane going to this same city where Russia started the invasion from. Very concerning. Okay, this could be for their summer offensive. And here we have a picture from last night in Ukraine. This is in Kiev, the capital. You can see the whole city is just burning, basically. Look at that, guys. I mean, that is just totally insane. And then here we have just one picture of this building that got hit by something. I don't know what, but you can see half the building is missing. Okay, so very, very intense attack last night. Over a dozen Russian bombers were involved. And right now, as you're listening to me, there's over a dozen bombers launching missiles at Ukraine. So another night of attacks on Ukraine. And by the way, you can tune into my 24/7 live stream, which is up right now, to get continuing updates on the attack on Ukraine tonight. I have 2 radios to monitor the nuclear forces and various radio frequencies from around the world. Also, we have the moderators updating in the chat, checking on Ukrainian sources for the latest up-to-date information. So tune into my 24/7 live stream, which is up right now for live coverage of the attack, which is happening right now. And what you're looking at here is the flight path of a NATO AWACS plane that's up in the air right now. It's patrolling the border of Ukraine and Poland. There's an aerial refueler from NATO also in southeastern Poland, right near the Ukraine border. And then interestingly, we had 2 Polish military cargo planes fly up to southern Finland and then come back. Very interesting. A Polish C-130 and a Polish C-295 moving something up to Utti, U-T-T-I, in Finland. Okay, that's the name of the town. Not sure what's over there. I'll have to dig deeper into that. And here we have some crazy footage coming out of the Ukrainian Carpathians, a massive blizzard in late May in the Ukrainian Carpathians, okay, which is not totally unusual for the Carpathians. Okay, I've been to the Carpathians in April and May, and there can be snow, especially at higher elevations, but it has been cold around the world the last couple of days, so it looks like we may be heading into a little ice age. We'll have to keep an eye on that, but that's the latest breaking news that I have. I just wanted to give you guys this quick update. Tune into my live stream right now to get updates. I'll be in the chat monitoring the situation, but it does appear that Putin narrowly survived an attack from Ukraine. They targeted his helicopter, and now Putin's probably furious. And then Trump's pissed off at Putin. So things are really escalating, guys. It's been very quiet the last few months, but I think that's all about to end with this summer offensive coming up. And then we have the intelligence that came out that Israel was planning to strike Iran on their own, regardless of what kind of deal the U.S. makes with Iran, but especially if there's a deal that doesn't involve dismantlement of the nuclear facilities, then Israel's going to go in and dismantle them themselves, okay? So that's another front we got to watch, but I'm going to monitor everything and update you guys accordingly. Tomorrow's Memorial Day, so I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day. And remember why we celebrate Memorial Day. It's not so we can have a 3-day weekend and barbecues and going on vacation. We're supposed to celebrate the men and women who sacrificed everything for us so we can live the way that we do, okay? So remember the reason for the holiday. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply has brought back their $200 discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to go to preparewithNYPrepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. That's preparewithNYPrepper.com to get $200 off the NYPrepper Supply 3-month emergency food supply. This is freeze-dried food, so it has a 25-year shelf life, and it's all packed within 6 rugged, watertight buckets, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. You can easily fit this in a small closet in a studio apartment, and the food has all of your essential vitamins and minerals and up to 2,000 calories per day. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get the NYPrepper Supply 3-month emergency food supply, 25-year shelf life for just $500. That's $200 off their normal price. So use the link in the description below this video.